What's cracking, everybody? XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon Go Battle League content. In today's video, Shadow Cacturne is the absolute sauce in this meta in the Spring Cup, dude. This thing is disgusting. It's just, oh my goodness. These sucker punches hit so hard that you won't even know what, you wouldn't think that they're either resisted or neutral, depending on what you're facing. But we're going to round out the back of this team with a Gastrodon. It's something that works to deal with any of the Steel Fairies, the poisons, and as well, it just kind of covers for any inherent things that Cacturne doesn't really like to see, except for flying, which I have decided to go apparently completely all in on losing to flying types. This team gets dogged on by Tropius, and that's just the way it is, isn't it, though? But we try to make our way around it. We do see a couple of Tropius, and I'm pretty sure I just get flat out destroyed by both of them. But if you don't see a lot of Tropius, this team would work. Now, as far as alternatives go, if you want, instead of Gastrodon, you could run a Tentacruel, and Golisopod could also be something like Mantine for Alligator if you don't want to be inherently weak to fighting or flying. So, without any more delays, because I have been talking in circles, this is probably like my 5th time trying to take this intro, dude. First game into an Obamasnow. This is not good, but I have to stay in because my Gastrodon's weak to it. Now, if I had Tentacruel in the back, I probably could have swapped out to Golisopod immediately. But you saw how much damage those moves did. They did enough. And now what this also allows me to do here is it's going to allow me to put that Abomasnow in a range where a Body Slam from my Gastrodon would actually threaten to nearly knock out. So that damage is still helpful. I go for X-Scissor here incorrectly. I should always just go for Aqua Jet. Because Aqua Jet does more damage than X-Scissor, but for some reason I can't get my brain to not go for it. So, opponent shields up the second move. I'm going to go ahead and shield this move here just to make sure that I can get some form of... I mean, alignment's not going to help me here, honestly, but I'm figuring that if I can overload on energy with my Golisopod, at least a little bit, I'll be in a good spot. But unfortunately, because of the threat of a Body Slam was looming, and I did not want to take it or shield it, I actually have to throw my energy. The opponent comes in with Barbaracle. I go in straight to Gastrodon, and the opponent's switch clock either isn't up yet or they're trying to get a move off. I do know that this thing learns Grass Knot, but they didn't build up to it, so I'm going to let that go. Opponent's going to come back in with the Abomasnow. They have quite a lot of energy on Abomasnow, so I'm expecting them to just go for Energy Ball, and I'm going to hope that I can just kind of farm down this team of, honestly, with Cacturne, and the opponent trying to go for a ton more energy than needed. They end up going for an Energy Ball, which will knock out my Gastrodon, but now Cacturne should be able to come in and get the Sucker Punch. But of course, because this game is so bug-free and wonderfully made, we don't get to move through and we have to take an extra move. However, it's not going to matter because we have enough farm here to get to the charge move against the opponent's that thing, that Barbaracle, that thing. And we're going to take that game. Well played. Next game in, we're going to have Cacturne on the lead versus Lapras. You love to see it. This Lapras is not going to have a good time. They immediately swap out into an Amoonguss, and Amoonguss is also not something that Cacturne has much of a problem with. We are going to be able to fully Sucker Punch this down before they can get to 2 moves. If it's the Shadow Amoonguss, if it's a non-Shadow, it's not quite so easy, but I'm going to Trailblaze here just to get a little bit of chip damage, and also because I would like to try and carry this damage, this boost out of this matchup. The opponent, however, comes up with Mawile, and I'm going to immediately pop in my Gastrodon here because it is now neutral. I know that it's not going to get locked onto a bad matchup. Normally, I would never just pivot out into my Gastrodon unless I know what the rest of their team has on it. Opponent's not going to be able to get to another charge move here, and now I can go in, just go all in with these Earth Powers into this Lapras, and that's going to pretty much seal this game here. Cacturne, I can just save the shield for Cacturne. My Golisopod is still full HP, and I'm getting to the second Earth Power the opponent concedes here. Well played to them. Next game up, Shadow Cactus. He's going to poke it into the Tropius. This is what I was talking about. This Tropius solos my team. This is one of those Pokemon where it's like, when you build a team, right, there's always something that will core break your team. There's no way to go about it. You will always lose to something. So, I didn't really think about Tropius when I made this team. I'm going to be completely honest. So, you see a lot of Tropius, maybe steer clear, make some adjustments, but having Tentacruel over the Gastrodon here would at least make this a playable game. But the Tropius shields up my move, so at least I get shield advantage. But I'm going to have to shield up pretty much everything from this point forward and try and hope that my Golisopod can be what gets rid of this Tropius. But the opponent is going to swap into their Jellicent. I'm going to go for a little bit of fast move pressure and then look to go into my Gastrodon, hoping that the energy that I've stored on Golisopod will somehow help me win this game. I'm also going to shield up this move because it's most likely to be the Shadow Ball, which I mean, they can still get to 2 Shadow Balls. I'm going to have to take 1, but I'd rather shield a Shadow Ball than not shield the first move and then end up having to eat a Surf. So we're going to be able to go for the Earth Power here on CMP. The opponent is at their move. They're going to throw it. They're going to let it go here. And then Tropius is going to come back in, and they don't throw right away. Either they couldn't or they didn't. So I'm going to be able to go for this Body Slam here. And then I was going to look to try to come in with my Golisopod, but the opponent has a Lapras in the back. And I'm pretty sure that I just lose this game now, unfortunately. I don't have a way to get over the Tropius and Lapras combo. Very strong team, quite honestly. I was hoping that maybe the X Scissors here would 2-shot, or one to get the shield, 1 to get the Lapras out of the game. But we're going to find out. I thought that was a CMP tie because I didn't see a Psy Wave. Does the X Scissor do enough? Can we save ourselves? No, unfortunately not. That is just the way it is. But that's going to be a good game here. Gastrodon's going to look to try and get a farm down, but the opponent's going to be able to get it first, and well played. I made it. I would like to think I made that pretty close, okay? Now, Electrode on the lead. Electric types in general, even like things like Dedenne, you're just staying with Cacturne. You resist the electric fast move pressure, and look at how much damage the Sucker Punches are doing. They're going to build up to a Wild Charge. I'm going to shield it. They're just going to throw a Swift here. That's all they need to do. So this is fine. I'm going to go for the Trailblaze here. I don't know if this would knock out. Maybe I should have gone for a Dynamic Punch, but I assume they were going to shield anyway, which they do, which now means that my Sucker Punches will do enough to be able to get a knockout. And honestly, I have bulk in the back, so I'm very happy to just go ahead and give my shields to my Cacturne. And now what I can do is I can go for this Trailblaze. And what's important is it doesn't matter if they shield this or not. If they no shield this, their whole Golisopod's gone. But the fact that they shield it, those Sucker Punches were enough to get their Golisopod down into X Scissor range, which is now what I'm going to swap into. They're probably not going to end up having Aerial Ace, so I mean, either way, they still do almost the same damage, honestly. It's ridiculous. But X Scissor's going to get the knockout here, and then we're going to see what they have in the back. We still have Gastrodon looking pretty healthy, and honestly, Cacturne's also looking pretty good. Opponent's going to bring in a Trevenant here. We're going to go for the X Scissor and try to see if we can't get that final shield. I'm just, like, my Gastrodon's going to have a bad time. Opponent, however, doesn't have a shield left, so because of that, they probably would have CMP'd. I think that they were trying to, I didn't see a Shadow Claw, so it looked like they ended up getting one turn bring in there, which is really unfortunate. And then the Shadow Ball won't do enough. The opponent's going to come back in with Electrode, and that's going to unfortunately do it. I think that even still, had they thrown the energy, I could have just come in with Cacturne and probably just fast moved down to the rest of the team from that point on. But it never, it's just one turn lag, dude. It's ridiculous. This breaks games. Take everything you know about the game, timing, etc., thrown out the window because we lost a turn. Anyway, next match is pretty decent. Again, another Pokemon that we resist the fast move for, which is really good for Cacturne because this thing is really, really potent when you can get a farm down and come out with energy. Now, my opponent's going to safe switch into a Weezing. Thankfully, I don't throw the energy. I'm like one of those people that like reactionary throws energy to try and get it off and take a minute to think about what I'm going to do. But I see the Gastrodon having a chance to just get the best possible alignment that it could ever get and farm down this entire Weezing. Now, we have a lot of energy. Opponent's going to come back in with the Golisopod, but honestly, like, even the Body Slams at this point are going to add up, and they're going to have to throw energy to be able to get rid of us. The Body Slam number 2 is either going to have to get the shield here, or they're going to end up going down, and we're going to see their third and get the favorable alignment here, which is exactly what happens. In comes the Lapras. I'm straight running back into my Cacturne, because I also recognize that Golisopod can just easily get a shield, or not get a shield, can easily just come in and do what it needs to do later in the game. I am going to put my shields into this Cacturne, even though I know it's just... Look, I'm showcasing Cacturne, okay? We have to. We have to, okay? We have to. Now, Trailblaze is going to get the second shield, but their opponent is already so low to the point where it doesn't really matter at, you know, what we come back in with. I could come in with Gastrodon here and go for the Body Slam here if I so wanted to, and I think I will. We're going to go, no, we're going to go for the Earth Power because I feel like I have no manners today. That's how we're going to do it. I should have just gone for the, that is a little bit of bad manners, but we have Cacturne. It's okay. Good game. Next game. We're going to have Cacturne into Tentacruel, get immediately out, and this is one of those situations where not having Golisopod might be okay. But the nice thing here about having Golisopod, however, on the flip side, is that we are able to keep the Tentacruel in the matchup with Golisopod, and hopefully it's going to allow us to keep it off of the Cacturne And by doing so, we may have changed the switch clocks around so that they're not in sync. We can go for these X scissors here. I can go for some more farm to make them want to throw. And then I could just let Cacturne farm this thing down. Bullet Seeds are not going to do very much to me. And I'm thinking about this, and I'm like, no. I want to get switch advantage. That's exactly what I'm going to do. The opponent throwing right there allows me to get 6 Shadow Claws. No, 5 Shadow Claws. Either way, we could have farmed down all the way. And then we're going to be able to hopefully do some more damage into this Tentacruel. Gastrodon is going to lock this down. And we still have a healthy Cacturne with a shield that is hopefully going to be fine into anything else they might have in the back. So, gonna come down to really what is in the back, as most games do, right? A lot of the times you guys will hear me say it comes down to what's in the back, which it's gonna be the Amoonguss, which with 1 shield, we can fully farm this down. And unfortunately for the opponent, they really don't have a way out because we just fast move through the rest of the Tentacruel with our very healthy Gastrodon. We can Trailblaze here. It'll get the shield, probably. They have to shield something at some point. But this is entirely fine because now these are going to allow us to get this knockout, or so we thought. But because they are throwing here, Gastrodon still gets the farm down, and I'm going to be very happy to just go ahead and get this farm down, get the game well played. Next game, we got Cacturne and a Jellicent. You love to see it. However, I have a problem. The opponent, well, this game, most times I see like Golisopod come in, and I'm just like, what do I do? So, because Cacturne has to stay on the Jellicent here. If it, well, not usually that. Look, man, it's been a long day. All right, it's been a long day. It's been a long week, and I've had half of the week off of work, dude. Anyway, I'm supposed to be talking about battles. Y'all didn't come here for that. We're gonna live that, get the farm down on this Weezing here, and have some energy to throw into the Jellicent or whatever comes back in. In this case, I'm very happy to be able to get alignment here, but if their opponent comes in with something like a Amoonguss, I feel like I end up needing Cacturne to deal with that. But at that point also, it means that I don't have a Cacturne to deal with Jellicent, so you just gotta be careful about alignment and just kind of put a good thought into what you want to do. You probably would be more than able to just kind of say, I'm going to put my Golisopod on the Amoonguss, and if I know that I can win that matchup, great. But otherwise, maybe chip it with Cacturne. I don't know. But we're going to go for these Aqua Jets here. These are going to be able to do a lot of damage to the Mawile. We're going to be burning through both shields. The opponent here, however, goes for a move right away. This is not enough for anything other than just a power-up punch. So I'm going to go ahead and let it go. And then come in with Cacturne, and my opponent deletes my face with Fire Fangs, and we get swept by a Shadow Fire Fang Mawile. Good game to the opponent. Mawile is uncomfortable for this team as well. But here's the Dedenne I was talking about. This thing. Look at those sucker punches. Look at those sucker punches. Now, my opponent and I are both going to throw right here on 7. That for them would be a potential play rough. This is for me a Trailblaze. So I want my Gastrodon on this potentially. And I'm just going to be like, you know what? They're going to bait. I'm like, you know, I'm just going to call it at this point. Right? And they discharge. So this is fantastic. Opponent, you know, comes in with Obamasnow. I'm up a shield. I can easily go into this matchup with my Golisopod, but unfortunately, I had the 1-turn lag from switching, that is a normal lag, right? But I'm going to go ahead and go for as much energy now as I possibly can get, and then we're going to go ahead and throw the X Scissors. We do have the back-to-back just in case we need them. Opponent not going to give their second shield up, and now, will they come back in? Or will they show us their next move? Yep, they're going to go into the Dedenne. I know that they are, from the discharge, they'll be, I believe, 3 away. So I'm going to throw on 2, get the final shield here, and then I can put my Gastrodon. Words. English. Anything. Anyway, opponent's going to have the Amoonguss in the back, and at this point, I feel like I've already lost this game, but they throw on 4. That's a foul play and not a Grass Knot. The opponent must have Sludge Bomb, and that immediately makes this game winnable for us here, thankfully. I think that we might have been able to come away with a victory between Cacturne and Golisopod if they did have Grass Knot, but it would have been very, very close, and I don't know for sure whether we could have, but I'm going to go for the Body Slam because I'm going to win CMP. Gastrodon wins a lot of CMPs you don't think it should, and we're going to win this one as well. Body Slam is going to be enough to get the knockout, and the opponent's got Dedenne in the back, getting mud slapped down. Good game to the opponent. Yeah. Okay. Shadow Cacturne in the next game, meeting up against its Amoonguss, fellow grass type, we will be able to one-shield Sucker Punch down here if I so choose. But what I've been doing is I've also been going for the Trailblaze, which, now that I think about it, I should just go for the Sucker Punch down with one shield and not throw this energy, because if I do that, then it allows me to save that energy for later, because something else in the back is likely weak to Cacturne if they're staying in this matchup. And they're going to come in with something that is likely strong to Cacturne. Now, the other part of me also says, I don't know what's in the back. If I swap out of this, could be a problem. Now, I come in with Golisopod, and at this point, I'm able to CMP on an Energy Ball. This is very helpful. That I felt very doomed, because I know Gastrodon into this Abomasnow is not going to be good. I'm going to let this move go, I think, here. And I'm going to hopefully just say I can live this energy, live and get to a move here. The opponent going to go for a farm down here, but realizing maybe they don't have a shield left to do so. We're going to be able to get to the X-Scissor and get rid of the Abomasnow. And the opponent has their own Gastrodon in the back, which we still have quite a bit of HP on the Cacturne, but this is where saving that energy would have been really helpful. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this thing down clean into Earth Power range with Cacturne and swap out, allowing them to hit me with any one charge move here, because I know an Earth Power is not going to do enough to KO before I get to my Earth Power, and it won't. We're going to get to this Earth Power, take this game from the opponent here. That's going to be very well played to them. Cacturne, just when it breaks a team, it puts itself in such a good position. And getting into the next game here, Cacturne on the lead versus Jellicent. Once again, very nice lead. I'm expecting the opponent to safe switch here, and they do into an Amoonguss. This is not a Shadow, and I think that in the future, what I should probably do is come in with Golisopod. It will be bulky enough, and I think that at this point, I would be able to maintain switch advantage pretty easily going with the Golisopod swap in here. But I'm still, in my brain, I'm still trying to work through that. In the past, me, trying to get this Trailblaze in, and then also kind of realizing that, well, now I have Golisopod and Gastrodon for the Jellicent, but if they have an Obamasnow in the back, which is exactly what they're going to have here, because Jellicent Abomasnow core is a thing, now I'm going to be in big trouble, because I'm going to basically have to get out of this thing and go straight to my Golisopod. Opponent will come in with their Jellicent, and at this point, all I'm going to hope for is that somehow in the manner of this game, that I'll be able to put this thing down into Gastrodon Body Slam range. That is where my head is at right now as I'm trying to get to the end of this game. I'm going to let this move go. It might be a Shadow Ball. It's probably a Shadow Ball. Opponent's going to go ahead and throw full sending. I'm going to be able to get to 2 more Shadow Claws and then get in this charge move here. And I'm going to try to see if maybe... Nope, don't. It's not going to take out. I was hoping it might take out. Gastrodon's going to come in here so I don't have to shield anything. And I am basically at this point saying I'm going to try to get this into a range where Cacturne can do something against it. But, of course, they have way too much HP. It's a non-Shadow Obamasnow as well, so this is going to be a very tough endgame to navigate. But we're going to try our best. Body Slam is going to get it low. Opponent now going to be going for a charge move. If they go for a bait here, they're going to lose the game. And they do. I'm like, if you have Energy Ball, I lose. Now what we're going to do is we're going to force them to throw the rest of this energy. I, however, should have shielded this, because they can't get to another move, and I was thinking I could get to 2 Body Slams. So in hindsight, there's a solid chance that I win this game if I go for the extra 2 Sucker Punches, because I'm pretty sure those, plus this Mud Slap, would have knocked out. So winnable game, but unfortunately we'll take that loss and get into the next one. Jellicent on the lead again. It's feeling like a birthday party here, as Cacturne and its hat get to deal with another Amoonguss. Now, this one I know is a Shadow. I should be able to just one-shield farm down here. And so the opponent goes for that foul play. And I actually forgot the counts for foul play Astonish, even though I ran Klefki not less than a week ago. I forgot that it was 4-4 and thought that for some reason it was 4-3, and is in this moment as well that I realized that I might have a bad time. This is why I think that having a better answer to something like Amoonguss in the back will help you, because now I don't really have a strong answer to Jellicent. The opponent does have switch advantage, and I do foolishly throw my energy into this Mantine, because I also now realize at this exact moment that I have no way to beat Mantine, but the opponent does not shield the Trailblaze, and that is massive here, because now I can come in with Gastrodon and force them to either throw the energy or switch out. Now, the nice thing here for us especially is that they were so low and Gastrodon is so bulky that I could have potentially gotten to a Body Slam and knocked it out. So that's kind of what I'm hoping, is that Golisopod's going to have energy, or Gastrodon's going to have energy. What I'm going to try to do here is catch a Surf, and I fail miserably, and the opponent goes for the Shadow Ball. So I'm kind of not feeling very good about this game at the moment. But Shadow Ball is going to do quite a lot of damage, but we're going to be able to go for the, well, at least I was going to try to, but the opponent gets to a Surf. I was going to say we'll go for the Aqua Jet and get the knockout. Opponent goes for the Surf, and it is enough. Now things are very difficult. Opponent's going to come in with the Mantine. They are not at the charge move yet, and the opponent just threw their Shadow Ball as soon as they got it. Can we get to the Mud Slap farm down? No, we're going to go for this Body Slam and hope that a double resisted Body Slam against this Ghost-type Jellicent is going to be enough from this silly little slug, and it is. Good game to the opponent. Well played. And now we're getting to the next game with Cacturne on the lead versus Tropius. I'm immediately expecting to lose this game. Just saying. So basically what I do here is I cope, I get some Sucker Punch damage in, and hope that maybe there's a chance that they're doing something like Tropius double poison, right? Because that's really the most realistic thing that I could do. Now, you could argue, and I absolutely agree with you if you do, that I should have thrown Dynamic Punch there, because they double resist that Trailblaze. They also know that they will live. But the problem for me is that, like, the last one didn't shield, so I thought maybe they would shield. Or no, the last one did shield, thinking maybe this one will. If I ever see this again, I'm definitely going to go straight for the Dynamic Punch because I don't want to risk myself getting just completely destroyed like that. But, nonetheless, the opponent here goes for the Brutal Swing, the second one as soon as they got it. However, if they had gone for good timing and then gone for 2 and then the Brutal Swing, they actually would have gotten a third one off. So I know that, like, if you go back and watch it, you'll see what I'm talking about. They should be going 1-4-7, or really in this case 1-4, and then throwing on 2 when they get to the final one. Now the opponent, however, is also going to shield, and I'm like, I got to shield too. I'm in shambles already, man. Leaf Blade would knock out my Gastrodon and then some. I'm going to be going for another Body Slam. I probably should have built up to 2, but I thought they were closer to a move than they were. Body Slam's going to get the other shield, and they're going to look to get knocked out. Hopefully, please, Gastrodon, you have to pull through for me this time, man. Body Slam almost gets the knockout, and I try to go for a Snipe. I'm going to be taking a Leaf Blade instead. This is going to be a Leaf Blade catch. This is hopefully them not having an answer, and they have Tentacruel in the back. So I just lose. I resign the match. I know it's over. Good game to the opponent. So they were weak in the back. They were running double poison, but unfortunately, because they couldn't get rid of the Tropius, it didn't really go too well for me. This opponent, however, is in shambles as they safe switch their Gastrodon into the Cacturne, trying to avoid the Amoonguss matchup, and I am okay with this. I will get the shield from the opponent. They're going for a Body Slam. I'll trade shields here, refarm up a little bit of energy, and then come straight in with my Golisopod, which can probably fully farm down from this range. We're even catching a Body Slam here, which is very nice. I'm pretty sure we get the full farm down here. We get to put this energy into Amoonguss or whatever else comes in, and if they go for another Body Slam, I know it's not going to be enough to get a knockout here, which they do, and that's fine. I'm not shielding this at all. Golisopod's got so much energy that they're basically going to have to either shield against the onslaught of charge moves that's going to come their way on the Amoonguss, or they're going to have to give up a shield, which I'm like, they shielded, give up a shield, give up a shield. They give up a shield, or they're going to lose their Amoonguss, basically, and I'm going to make them have to make this decision here, and I'm hoping that, I'm sure they have an answer in the back to Cacturne. Like, it makes sense. And they don't. The entire team is triple weak to the Cactus, and the opponent's going to resign the match once they see that Gastrodon hits the field. And that's going to be a good game. Well played. We had 3 positive sets, 3-2, 4-1, 3-2 with this team. So in the rating that I was at, it worked out pretty well. Again, I think you could certainly make some substitutions based on the meta, but Cacturne itself is just an absolute menace, and you should be aware of it. So that's going to do it for me for today's video, guys. As always, thank you very much, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.